Hello learners, very good morning. This is your boss man Sagar.Utekar and today we are going to discuss about basics of networking which every DevOps and SRE engineer should know. Let's get started. As you know, all the notes for our Linux Defined Boss series are already available on our GitHub repository. So check that out. You can fork this repository and give it a star as well. Till day 15, all the notes are ready to use. So you can follow that and all the exercises are available on our GitHub repository. Make sure you do a hands-on practice a lot. By the end of day 15, you will have a clear understanding of TCP/IP and networking concept. You will understand how to use essential networking diagnostics tools such as ping, traceroute, netstat, SS, perform DNS lookups and troubleshooting, and so many things. Estimated time for these exercises is 30 minutes. Why networking matters? Because we work on a lot of system and we need to know what is the IP address of our system, what is the gateway. Can I ping Google from my machine or can I reach to database server from my machine? If your website is unreachable, how to debug that issue or how to troubleshoot DNS issues. Um, you may want to check if your web server is listening on particular port. So checking open ports is also another kind of networking activity which you will do very frequently as a DevOps SRE engineer. Many times you will also check where the connection is failing because to reach to the server it goes through multiple hops and you need to know where the packet is getting lost. So for that you need to have the clear understanding of these basic networking concepts at least. Okay. Okay, so the part for one is the basic networking concept. If you are very new to networking or even very new to DevOps or SRE engineer, I would suggest that just to go through all the notes from the part one. Don't worry, we are going to have a very separate series of networking the final boss in next month. We'll understand everything in detail, but for now, this is basic, which everyone should know. The network is the group of connected computers that can communicate. Okay, so when we are accessing the internet, it's not one single computer or the supercomputer there somewhere. No, it's not. There are a lot of machines available, and those are connected, interconnected. Okay, so that forms the network. Internet. Internet is nothing but a global network of networks. Likely, you can call that as a cloud, websites, or servers. And then we have a protocol. So I'm going to talk about protocols, IP address ports. That is why I thought let's cover these basics at least, and then you know, yeah. So protocol is nothing but a set of rules for the communication. Since all these machines are communicating through the network and the internet, there has to be rules for the communication. It is like a language for computer to communicate with each other and the rules we have for communication. There are different protocols, TCP, HTTP, DNS. Then we have IP address. Every machine on the network gets unique identifier. Otherwise, how it will another machine will know that what is that machine is. For that, every machine gets unique identifier for a device on the network. Okay, like same as your home. Every home have its own address, or every individual person have its own name. Same thing you can consider in case of the computers. Ports. It's a virtual door for a specific service. Now you have a machine which is there, but there can be multiple services running on that machine. So for to access that service, it's kind of virtual door to for a specific service, and that is a port. We are going to talk about the different ports every DevOps engineer should know. For example, 80 is a port for the web, 22 port is for the SSH. Okay, then we have gateway. Gateway is a device that connects all these networks. DNS. DNS converts names to IP address. MAC address is a hardware address of the network cards. Then subnet is a subdivision of network. Now we have this huge network that must get subdivided. So for we call that it's a subnet. Firewall is a security system that filters traffic. So how we can control which system to communicate with my systems. That is controlled by using the firewall. Packets. Packets are nothing but a unit of data sent to our network. We are going to talk to another system. So that all the information is going to be sent using a packets. Um, and couple of more things like ping, latency, bandwidth, interface, local host. Let's check that out. If you're still confused about IP addresses are simple unique identifier for each device on the network. It's kind of mailing address, but for the computers, and it allows devices to find and communicate with each other. As simple as that. There are different IP address types. We have public loopback, link, local, broadcast, and private IP addresses, and there is a range for each of these IP addresses. You can check that out. This is sometimes the interviewer asks what are the different type ranges in the private network, or what is the 127.0.0.1 means, or 255 uh 255 address means. That is why I try to add a couple of notes here. Then we have subnet mask. It helps you to divide the network into subnetwork. Understanding ports, again, it's a virtual door or the channel for the network services. We have multiple ports uh, from 0 to 65535. They are divided into different ranges. 0 to 1023 are reserved for the well-known ports. Then 1024 to 49151 are registered ports. And 49152, 65535 are the dynamic or the private ports. This is a list of common ports you should know. Port 2021 is for the FTP protocol, 22 is for the SSH, 23 is Telnet, 25 is SMTP. Let me tell you, during my Google phone screening round by the Google HR, they asked me quick rapid fire question. What are these ports? And I was very prepared because I know I've been using these ports a lot and I know what is the meaning of that. And for each port, what is the protocol is there. Okay, so just to make sure you understand at least couple of these 20, 22, 23, 25, 53 is for the DNS, DHCP 67, 68, 80 is for the HTTP, then 443 is for the HTTPS. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and this is how port works. So your computer and there is a remote server. So whenever remote server, your computer is sending, communicating to the remote server or back again. So it always communicates on the particular port of the service where it's running. There has to be IP address, colon, port number to communicate between this. Understanding protocols, again, it's a set of rules for the network communication, like language human speaks to understand each other, different protocols for the different purposes. So we have this TCP/IP model, and it is divided into multiple, four different layers: application layer, transport layer, network layer, and the link layer. Again, very important question which got asked during my Google interviews, that explain the OSI layer and the TCP/IP model, and what are the different protocols are there for each of these layers. Application layer, you have HTTP, FTP, SSH, DNS, SMTP. Transport layer is for the port-to-port delivery, um, and there is a TCP, UDP. Network layer, we have IP, ICMP. It is for the IP addressing and the routing. Then we have link layer is for the physical connection. We have Ethernet and the Wi-Fi. Okay, all the major protocols I have explained here. IP is an internet protocol. It's for the addressing and the routing, and it delivers packet through correct address. TCP is a transmission control protocol. It's for the reliable delivery. UDP is a user datagram protocol. It's for the fast delivery. And how it works, the difference I have given here, TCP versus UDP. Again, very important question. Not only Google, Apple, but many of the interviews asked me to explain the difference between TCP and UDP. So check this out. I'll just skip to the next part. Then we have the DNS system, which is kind of translating human readable names to IP addresses, like a phone book for the internet. When you type google.com, DNS returns particular IP address. You type google.com in browser. Sorry, I don't know why, but this particular video is going to tell you what are the different networking kind of questions get asked in the interview. So I remember this was the question even got asked in couple of companies interview for me. How DNS works exactly. So you type google.com in your browser. It first checks your computer. It is a host directory. It's a local file. Then if not found, then it asks the DNS server configured in the etc result.conf file. Then it checks DNS server responds with the IP address, and then your browser connects to that IP address on port 443 in case of HTTPS and 80 in case of HTTP. We have different DNS record types. Very important question. A is for the IP address of the domain. Then IPv6 address. The name is for the canonical name. It's kind of pointing one domain to another domain. MX is for the mail exchange. NS is a name server. AXT pointer start of authority. Perfect. Then you can just go through all these nodes for your TCP/IP model. Okay. Let me move directly now to the practical part. We are going to check how to use network configuration. You can check try out any terminal. Maybe you can use your um, sorry, you can use your Mac or Linux. That is fine. But most of the commands will work for every system. Okay. So to view the network communication, we have this command IP, and you need to IP command not found. Looks like I need to use my virtual box for this practical. So let's start that one of the machine. Okay, let it start. Meanwhile, I'll explain you what are the commands available for us to view the network on. What are the different ways? Sometimes you get these kind of questions, tricky questions asked in the interview. Tell me if IP address command is not working, then how are you going to check network configuration? And you should know multiple different options network configuration. So the first command is IPA or IP address. You can use those books. It is going to show all network interfaces and IP addresses. Then we have IP link command. IP command comes with different options. You can check that out. And it is going to show the interface status. Okay. Then we have IP route. It is going to show where packets are going. Kind of it is going to routing table. And then host name is going to tell you your computer's name. If you use hostname with hyphen I, it is going to show all IP addresses of that machine. You can also check these configuration files, etc result.conf. It is going to tell you what are the different DNS servers are being used, and etc host, again, a very important file which shows you static names to IP mappings. We'll try to execute these commands on our. Okay, let me open the terminal. If I do IPA here. Okay, so this is what you are going to get for your IP address command. First is a this is the interface name. and it is going to show whether it is up or not. If it is properly working, then it will show interface is active, and you are going to see IP address also here. So this IP address with its subnet mask, and yeah, so this is MAC address. Multiple MAC address are available here, so you can see this MAC address. For every address, there is a MAC. For your machine, MAC address is associated. Okay. Um, so another equivalent is the same, I guess. IP address, IP ADDR or IPA are the same thing. So you can use any of these. If you want to see the brief format, then there is another option, IP-BR address is going to do the brief formatting of the same output. What is the status? What is the interface name? What is the IPv4 address? And what are MAC addresses for your machine? If you want to see the IPv4 address, then you can use IP-4 address. Okay, it is going to show the IPv4 address and remove the IPv6 status. You can also check interface status using IP link show. It is going to show the same output, but most interface status, whether it is up or down. Here, you can use IPR or route show. It is going to show the routing table. Okay, so this is a routing table. Route show is the same thing. You can also check the your system username, host name using hostname command, and all the IP addresses using -. This is the IP address of my machine. Then two important files which we discussed are etc result.conf. This have the all DNS servers. Okay, so this is how your system is going to communicate with the internet using this DNS service. Then we have cat etc host. It is going to show the static names mappings. 127.0.0.1 it is localhost. Colon 1 is for the local. We wish to add any new IP address and talk to that IP address using host name, then you can add entry here. Okay, the next part is, okay, let me move our Canva. The first one was how to do the network config. The second is how to test the network connectivity. Test network connectivity. You can use command like ping and the host name. Not sorry, ping and then host. Test if host is reachable. You can also use ping with -c option and the number of packets. Then you can also use traceroute command. Like the to show the path of the packets, or there is another equivalent is trace path as well. Let's try out these commands. We'll try to reach out to google.com from our virtual machine and see it is reachable. Ping google.com. It's reachable. It is going to continuously send packets, but we can stop it using Control C. We are going to interrupt that process. I want to send only 4 packets, then I can use ping -c4 and google.com. Okay. You can also reach out to any particular IP address. For example, you want to connect to some remote server, then you can type the IP address of that machine and try to reach it. I don't have anything here, but we can try to sample test this Google's internet. Same. Okay. Okay. Let's try to understand the output of ping command. Here you are seeing this, yeah, uh, the timing, right? So this is the timing of or the latency, how long it is taking for to send that particular packet. It can be in milliseconds or sometimes 100 milliseconds or 200 milliseconds. So you need to check what is the current time it is taking to send one packet. Then we have 0% packet loss, which means all packets are being sent to that remote server or google.com. That is why we are seeing 0% packet loss. All 5 packets have been sent, 5 received, 0% packet loss, and the time taken to send these packets is 4009 milliseconds. Okay, that is how you read the ping command output. There are different ping errors you will see, like if I say ping um, .com. Okay, here it is not giving us any output now. It is going to fail. What we'll do, we'll try to send only 2 packets or 4 packets to this random site, and we need to see if it fails. Yeah, you can see the output. 4 packets try to transmitted, 0 received, and 100% packet loss, which means we are not able to reach to this particular site from our machine. There are different ping errors you can see. Network is unreachable, which is this case, or destination host unreachable, can't reach host. Um, Name or service not known or request timeout. Okay, so you'll need to test it. The another command is traceroute google.com. Let's say we are trying to reach to google.com server and we don't know where it is. But whenever our packets are going into google.com, it is going to multiple hops of the routers. You can check that using this. Okay, I need to install it. Traceroute command. You can see it is going through multiple different routers before it reaches to our Google DNS server. So this is the first address of my home router. Then there will be um, internet service provider or means router didn't respond at this point. Star means router didn't respond, and which is very common. But finally, line number this it finally reached to DNS server, and we are able to connect to google.com. Now the next thing is how to check the ports and the services for our system. Now we know we can reach to google.com, but uh, I want to access some of services on my remote machine. I can do that. For that, you need to know the port of that service on the remote machine. checking ports and services. Mainly two to three commands. First command is ss, which is the latest variant of the netstat. So it is going to show you all the TCP UDP listening ports. There is another version. The options, multiple options are available with SST NLP. It's going to include the process information as well. If you wish only TCP, then you can use SS-T. Um, the older or the legacy version was netstat. Till many many interviews or of the articles you will find this command. Netstat. If you wish to check uh, specific port, then you can use lsoft command -I and the port number. So if I want to compare this again, so we can compare IP address with a uh, building address, and every building have multiple apartments, right? So port is a apartment number, you can say, where some person is living. Let's try out these commands now. If I do ss, then it is going to show me huge output. You can also do sstu lnp, and it will show TCP UDP ports. This T is for TCP, U is for UDP, L is for the listening, N is for uh, N, P is for the processes. You can always man SS for this. N is for the numerical representation. Okay. P is for the process, show processes using sockets. Perfect. This is going to show all the processes, TCP UDP processes, what is their current status, and then addresses on which port they are listening, and what are the processes they are executing. Similar equivalent is netstat. And the last thing is, let's say I want to check if uh, any process is listening on port 80 or 443, that I can do using lsoft command, lsoft -I and the port number 80. Currently no process is. You can check this out. Okay. There is one more command in C which is going to show if the port is open. You can use it on the host. So for example, you want to check port is open on remote server. So you can use nc or telnet. I'll add in this. So nc -zv with google.com or whatever the server you want to reach, and port number. Okay, connecting to google.com and succeeded. 80 is also getting succeeded. Can imagine or compare this with your remote system where you want to reach to Jenkins running on remote system and from your local machine. So you can do NC or Telnet, and then provide the uh, DNS name of that machine, and then port number where you want. Only SS also helps, but SS with SS you will need to filter out an LP and then use pipe, grape it. There are multiple options you can try it out. Let me add these two commands here. Next is NC for checking port -Z and your server name. 443. Really, telnet is there. You can also use the telnet. Okay, so this is done. Now, the next part is DNS troubleshooting. How to troubleshoot DNS issues. Which are those commands? DNS troubleshoot. The first command is dig. It is going to show the detailed DNS lookup. If you want short answers, then you can use dig with short option. Just short and domain. You can use NS lookup as well. It is going to show the simple DNS lookup. And the last option which we previously also discussed, it is the resolve.conf file. It will show all the DNS servers. Okay. DNS server, basically whenever you type google.com, DNS is nothing but domain name system. It converts that into IP address because your system have IP address assigned to each of the server machine. But as a human, we can't remember all the IP addresses. That is why we have this system called DNS, convert domains IP addresses. Okay, and try this out. Simple examples, geek.com. Okay, here is the output of the command, and this is a IP address of the server which we have got. Okay, 249, I believe it is a time to live, which is cache for the how much time it is going to store this. Um, there is a query time of 13 milliseconds. It took 13 milliseconds to query this, and DNS name or the server name google.com dot is the server name which we are trying to reach out. As I said, you can also use plus short reach out or get the simpler version of this. So it is going to show the IP address of your server. Okay, then nslookup, the next command, right? Which we discussed. Nslookup google.com, and it is going to show the simpler version, maybe more cleaner. Name of the server, address of the server, and the IPv6 address of that server. Cat etc resolve is already C. So again, let me show you. This is where all the server names are present. This is a dynamic result.conf file for connecting local clients to the internet DNS stub resolver. Blah 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 blah. Perfect. Now I think those are the commands I wanted to cover. Let me tell you, all this information is available on our Git notes, so you can check that out. How to check the test the network connectivity. Multiple commands are there. Then explanation for the trace route. Um, how to check the ports and the services, common states, how to check if the port is open using ss nsky telnet and the ss command, DNS troubleshooting, dig and nslookup command. You can also troubleshoot DNS issues. So these are the, if you are facing any DNS related issue, what are the steps you need to follow? First, check the DNS server's configuration, then test using ping command if DNS server is reachable. then you can do the DNS resolution using DEEC or the NS lookup command. If it is returning, which means it is resolving properly to the IP address. Once you get that IP address, you can try to again the ping to that IP address. Okay. Yeah. This is the last part. I want you to try out network troubleshooting methodology. Whenever you face any network issue, I believe this is again very common question I got during my interview. If any server is not reachable, then how would I go from basic steps? So first thing first, you need to understand whether the issue is on the client side or the server side, and then take the necessary actions. Basically, you need to follow this order. Uh, Bottom up approach. Check the physical server is cable is plugged in or interface whenever you are you know you are connected to network, but maybe light is off or your Wi-Fi is not responding. Then how would you check that? First, you will check whether that cable is plugged into Wi-Fi router or not, right? Then you can do if it is plugged in, then you need to ping um, to the IP address. Then check the DNS layer. Can you resolve to the name? Then check the transport layer, because if you are able to reach to the server or it is resolving, then it may be the issue with the port on that service. Uh, if port is reachable or a port is open, but if maybe now the service on that server is not responding, so you need to follow this approach, step-by-step process to troubleshoot the networking issue. I also added a small script which is very useful. You can add as a small project for you. Please check that out. These are the common network problems which will come across as a DevOps engineer. And the last part is the sample exercises. Make sure you complete all these 4 or 5 exercises which I have given. Uh, these are the interview questions which you will get asked in your interview. So check that out. Once that is done, complete this checklist. And yeah, I think that is all. Okay. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this because I try to cover everything you should know as a as an engineer for the networking particular, but it's very, very important for us to have the strong networking skills. And don't worry if you need more information on the networking, then we are going to have the separate series of maybe 15 days or the 1 week of short series where I'm going to discuss about each of these OSI layers or the TCP/IP layers and how they works, what are the different protocols works, and how to troubleshoot issues at particular layer. This is the brief version of that, and in the next networking the final boss series we are going to check that in detail. Thank you very much for watching this video till the end. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care.